21st of October. Somewhere in Cleveland, Ohio's education system, Miriam sits alone at a table inside a teacher's break room. Her mind is fixated with thoughts. She doesn't know exactly. There is massive concern with her. In her mind, she's not thinking properly. It's her thoughts. Those thoughts. She is thinking something. She goes out for a cigarette break, keeping herself collected as she is focused on her smoke. It's in her mind she keeps thinking to herself, how surreal it's been since her daughter's been missing all this time. No luck. She's been trying to dismiss it all from her heart, knowing how much it hurts her. She just doesn't know it yet. All of a sudden, she hears it. The sounds of the crow. She's heard them before in her dreams. And for the last week, the crow has been speaking to her in a sense, trying to find out what she's doing with her intentions. She isn't so much aware, if not bothered by the outcomes that be. She knows exactly what it wants. The crow lands on a nearby car where it begins to look around cautiously. Miriam looks on in confusion at first, but realizes it's trying to get her attention. It coos her.
You're still going to have your moments of despair, sister. But do not let the light confine us all. Our ascension into the depths of the dark realms of the lost preserves will forsaken us in efforts in ways we cannot be affected. Even in the scene of our loved ones. Think about what I said, Miriam. I will come back for you in the dream. This dream will take effect as I will soon uncover the full truth.
And thus, it leaves. It flies into the sky, keeping watch over her, knowing who she is. She continues to look on at it as she herself is pretty confused. Back inside the high school, Miriam walks down the hallways as she heads back into her break room where she was by herself, keeping to herself. She passes by a classroom, one she will be teaching in pretty soon. As she sits inside the room, she feels a cool comfort, one of which that makes her like it's a small little getaway. She tries her best to keep it all in. She doesn't realize what is going to happen eventually soon enough. Maryam is ready for any outcome. She knows she'll find her child eventually. Then suddenly it's a knock at the door. Detective Jim Corbin has found Miriam and now will attempt to ask her some questions.
Hello there, Miriam Fulton. My name is Detective Jim Corbin. You may not remember me, but I remember you. Please, if I could, may I sit down and talk to you? I'm sorry for startling you. I know you've been going through a lot lately. I'm not here to take you down to the station. I'm here to simply ask you some questions about Josiah and your daughter. This will not take long. I have spoken to Josiah. I must say that he is, well, like you, going through a lot and dealing with unknown.
She suspects he's trying to set her up. Something feels off.
Really? You think you can come into my work and try and be all innocent? Really, Jim? You never liked Josiah, and I know for a fact you're up to something to try and make this all about you.
This isn't about me. This is about Josiah and your missing daughter. You know it just as...
Don't hand me that, Jim. You're here to be malice. I'm not answering you at all. Send me back to the hospital. I don't care.
Jim is taken aback. Fearing her words are striking too much truth, he tries to compromise with her.
The hospital isn't worth it. We need to find your daughter now. You need to be reasoned.
Shut up. I need to know why I'm here. Why I even exist.
What?
I was born into an orphanage.
I don't remember hearing that.
I had no one.
I'm sorry.
The hospital will treat me back. I'm sick of this. Seeing your face made it worse. Whatever you're doing, Jim, don't bother. Don't bother talking to me. Bother with Josiah. No matter how much you try and rat him out.
I ain't ratting him out, Miriam. I'd highly reconsider your choices here. If it's what you truly want, I'll do it.
Miriam leaves the classroom, furious and frustrated. fearing the power of the police is taking over in this situation. She takes a deep breath and heads back to the break room. Her mind is focused, and she isn't having any of this with the police. She knows Nina is family and may talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to Josiah at this time. She heads back into the break room where she left off eating, and she keeps to herself. She turns to a window, and while she awaits, she thinks of a time when she was younger, back in the 80s. She remembers a time when she was just a little girl, in an orphanage where she was last left behind so many moons ago. She remembers when one day when she was awaiting for a family to choose her or some other boy, the decision was made. The boy was chosen, and she wasn't. This moment discouraged her for so long. She never knew or had an idea on why she was never wanted. This broke her spirit in ways that would pave her the conflict and rights of who she is in modern day. Upon returning to present day, Corbin looks outside the break room with a stern look. He's curious to see what she is thinking about. He goes back to a time when he was in a church talking to a priest as he was in session to become a pastor of his community. How that pastor had helped so many in the community, and how all it took was a little faith, a little belief in the eyes of God. He'll never forget how the priest helped a family in need. He remembers speaking to that priest who helped him.
No matter how many souls you try to speak to and try to reason with, it's up to them in the end to do the right thing and prevail. If they cannot seek their own hope, they cannot seek their own faith.
Thank you, Pastor. You, sir, are a good man.
We all prevail in the end, my son. Believe in what you believe.
The words echoed even many years later. As the police and mental hospital arrive for Maryam, they enter inside. Jim accompanies them. Now present all looking at Maryam. He doesn't want to put her inside the asylum. He knows he has to apply his commands, however. Maryam looks on with a smile, ready for the next step.
Stefan wrote the complicated author. Episode 6. Miriam's intentions. What is Miriam's intentions? Is she truly malicious? Is she truly a horrible mother? Is she truly a horrible wife? Episode 6 dives deep on what really occurred through her childhood trauma, what really happened, and how her upbringing was. We're focusing on Miriam. And the only person that comes in to Miriam's life in episode 6 is Detective / Pastor Jim Corbin. At one point, he's professional. He's doing his job, doing what he needs to do. And the other point, he's being a consciousness and a cognitive person to understand what the issue of Miriam's upbringing is, which caused effect in her household. Episode 6 plays a pivotal point, and it's a game changer on why all of this is going on. The mindset of Miriam, the carelessness of Miriam, that is the most important part, because you need to get to the root of the problem, the background, the history of Miriam Fulton. Josiah don't even have a full understanding of what really occurred, because Miriam doesn't even know herself at all in order for understand to express her feelings into this marriage that they have. in order to be the best mother that she can be for Adrianna, in order to be the best wife that she could be for Josiah. When she's down, she has nobody to run to, nobody to talk to, nobody to speak to, and nobody to believe in. We're diving in deep into Miriam's intentions. Writing My Soul Away, Season 2, Episode 6. Tune in. This chapter is very crucial. Pay attention. And look alive. Go. It's very important to know who you are, to know your history, to know yourself. Because once you want to build a life with another person, you have to make sure that you have a good understanding of yourself. It is important to know who you are. Overall, just knowing yourself. It won't be fair to the significant other of you trying to study them and understand them and trying to figure yourself out at the same time. Prioritize your thought process. Prioritize your mental self-care. I was once that individual that was selfish and thought for self, and prioritize my self-desires instead of understanding who I am and potentially fixing what needs to be done before stepping into someone else's life. The moral of the story is to connect with the story. Miriam didn't know herself before stepping into the relationship. Miriam chased a high school varsity jock that she wanted so bad, not understanding her background and upbringing. And Josiah don't even know himself all the way. So to reconnect back into the universe, before you say your vows, before you get into it and build a life with someone, try not to make mistakes of not knowing yourself. It is important to know who you are and appreciate who you are, where you came from, before entering another life and building with them.
Four elements. Four elements, four elements, four elements. You know what they are. Motivational, inspirational, psychological, philosophical. Miriam never had bad intentions. She always means well. Her upbringing is what took her soul and what destroyed her. So, here we are. Motivational. What motivated me to write this chapter? What motivated me to get into Miriam's intentions? Self-awareness. Being able to understand self. Mr. Corbin is the only one that's seeing this firsthand. The self-awareness, the root of the issue. Again, if you don't know yourself, how can you ever go anywhere in life? Surprised she made it as a teacher. But she had some good qualities. Strong work ethic. Strong intellectual ethics. Very intelligent. Loves to read. Loves to study new things. Loves to learn new things. What inspired me to write this chapter of Miriam's intentions? It is important for people to understand self and the root of the character. The root, the deep grassroots. Where's her parents? But we're gonna find out very soon on where her parents are. We're gonna find out very soon on the origins of her parents. Was she really an orphan? Or she just maybe don't remember what happened? She doesn't remember. For some reason, somewhere down the line through her childhood memories, there was a mind block for a couple years, which kind of just erased her memories. Memories don't live like humans do. But always remember, but memories will remember you. Psychological. The psychological effect of Miriam's intentions. First, Miriam in the book is extremely insecure. She thinks every woman that comes across Josiah is better than her. She doesn't feel good enough. She doesn't feel like a good enough of a mother. She doesn't feel of a beautiful wife. No matter how much attention Josiah provides and how many things Josiah does, it's never good enough. She struggled with low self-esteem. Never really had a mother figure in her life or a great father figure to tell her that he loves her. From institutes to group homes to boarding homes. When she saw Josiah in high school, she felt like the world was gonna end. She was rushing for LOVE, love, without understanding and going back into her roots and seeing where she comes from. Miriam carries an overload of trauma that affects everyone around her, even her work environment. And it scares Adrianna off. She feels like she can't open up to Miriam. It's like a clash of the titans in the household. We can put a label on her is because of her schizophrenia. Maybe her delusions. But these issues stem from a massive childhood trauma. Might have always been in her, but there was something in her life that triggered it for it to burst out like it did and have these massive outbursts. Philosophical. Miriam is extremely scared and concerned. Deep inside, she's pretending to be unflinched. Pretending. Nothing bothers her. That's why she goes out and hides out onto the abandoned school after hours. She's the only one that surprisingly has the key to that school. Detective Jim Corbin is the only one that witnessed these pattern of behaviors. He sees it all. He takes it in. But Jim plays both sides. He plays the role of detective, psychologically understanding what's the issue, but also the role of the Christ-conscious pastor to kneel on the floor in the abandoned school with a prayer to attempt to change Miriam's life.